Namaste everybody. This is Dr. Piroja Pardiwalla. Thank you for your overwhelming response for my earlier video. Please do like, share, subscribe and notify on the previous video as well as on this video. What are viruses? Viruses are microscopic infectious organisms that largely consist of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, and they are wrapped in a protein coat. Although they have genes, they do not have a cellular structure, which is the basic unit of life. Hence, they are called the organisms at the edge of life. They survive without living. They are like zombies and they cannot naturally reproduce outside a host cell. But as soon as they get into another host cell, there they can multiply and replicate and even change their form. Their genetic code will change according to what works in favor of the survival of the virus. Since a virus is not a living organism, it cannot be killed with bactericides or antibiotics because antibiotics can kill only live cells. Now, H5N1 virus or the influenza virus has been there since around 4500 years. And this virus can spread to billions and it can cause a global catastrophe. That can happen only within a span of few months. Bird flu was the worst plague in history up till now. In that pandemic, which was in 1918, 50% of humans who are infected with that died. Now, where did all these viruses come from? How did they start? See, we've always domesticated animals since years, since ages. But the difference is that we've changed the way animals live, and that is the main cause for the viruses to start. Because of our increased demand for the purpose of eating chicken and flesh, factory farming and commercial intensive poultry production started. Certain countries started to do mass production, that is mass breeding of these hens. They were kept in these production places in pathetic states. 100 million hens together in one particular shed with poor ventilation, no sunlight, overcrowding, filth, and over and above, they are fed with hormones and antibiotics. They are fed carnivorous food. So the animals are not allowed to exist as they would exist in nature. This is the main reason for the viruses to start and develop into the very virulent strains. Now, how did these viruses start? To start with, the viruses were the very harmless intestinal organisms in the intestinal tract of ducks. Ducks being an aquatic bird, they used to harbor these viruses in their intestine. Viruses would be shed out of their body through the excreta, and another duck in the water would take it in, and thus the cycle of the viruses would continue. This did not affect the ducks because the virus had its way to naturally progress. Now, one of these ducks, infected ducks, is picked up and taken, and it is kept with the other hens in the production houses like the factory farming, where there are so many hens together. The virus from the duck finds its way into any of those hens. Those hens have very poor immunity in those conditions. So the virus immediately spreads very fast. The first host, which was the duck, the virus had its location into the intestinal tract. Now it cannot multiply in the hen in the intestinal tract because it cannot shed away into the water and the cycle be continued. So this virus finds its way into the hen's body where it can spread and further continue its progression. It locates into the lungs of the hen. And this airborne spread starts. Now the genetic structure of hen lung is quite similar to that of humans. So as this virus became airborne, it started to spread into humans and it started to mutate further. Now the coronavirus or the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which is the current pandemic right now, is also so named because of the severe acute respiratory syndrome related coronavirus. And it has a genetic similarity to that of the corona bat virus, suggesting it emerged from the bat-borne virus. An intermediate animal reservoir such as the pangolin is also thought to be involved in its introduction to humans. Now, how did this come into existence? Certain countries crave to eat wildlife meat, and they also have wildlife meat commercial markets. There again, they are in these wildlife is captured, they are cultivated in adverse conditions, and then they are bought into these markets to be sold. So these viruses again mutate and spread from animal to animal and from animal to human. Thus is the spread of coronavirus. Now, what is the solution to this? The solution to this is that we have to cut down on the consumption of chicken and wildlife meat. Then these markets will reduce and will be slowly under control. We have to understand what we've created. We have to understand the seriousness of the situation that is there right now. We have to take responsibility. It's not only the duties of the doctors and the politicians and the leaders and the police of the nation to be urging and telling us, and it's not them only who have to face the forefront and bear the brunt. They are at great threat because of the viruses, because they're trying to protect us. It is our moral duty to live within the restraints. We have to impose isolation on ourselves. We have not to be told to remain indoors. It has to come from within. We have to understand the seriousness. It is already beyond us. It's a very difficult situation. And if we don't realize the seriousness of the situation, things can completely go out of hand. If a child is asked to study and cram up things, that imposition on the child is not going to work. But if you are going to develop a keen interest in study in the child, that thirst for knowledge is going to make it study. So this hasn't to be imposed on us to remain isolated. This is the need of the hour, and we have to comply to it. Nature has supported us always. We are a part of nature. We have all the 5 elements of nature. We have created the imbalance. Why are we blaming nature now? Let's stay indoors. Let's take charge of our lives. Think, introspect. What have we done? What have we done to nature? What have we done to our lifestyles? Can we pause for a moment? Can we start giving some meaningful family life? Can we inculcate some good values in our children? Can we eat healthier? Can we eat and learn to live with the basic necessities? Can we learn to live with what is there available in this situation right now? If you are given lemons, make lemonade. Be prepared. The situation now is grave. Times are difficult. We don't know what the future holds in store for us. But if we work sensibly, we show our maturity, we can still bring things into control. Be prepared. Be prepared. We may have to be in isolation for much longer periods. Be prepared, but don't be scared. Fear is failure, and panic is paralyzing. Success comes in surrendering. Surrender, but not out of fear, with the faith that yes, nature will take care of us once again. Nothing happens without an intention. We had that intent that we were leading a rat race. We had that intent that we needed a break. We asked for it, and it happened. So stop blaming others. Take the responsibility. Behave mature. Be isolated, and take charge. Please cooperate. Again, I tell you, the doctors, the politicians, the police are doing their best. Now you do your best. I have a question for you. Nature has always been very benevolent. Nature has always given us. Tell me now, what is your role? What have you to give? Please cooperate, everybody. Please. Thank you. I will soon be uploading another video on how to stay calm in stressful situations. Take care. Stay healthy. Stay happy. And stay blessed. Thank you.